People are leaving Arizona. Wait, what? All we've heard about for the past 2 years are the huge number of people moving to Arizona. So is it true? Are people really leaving Arizona? Well, the short answer is yes. And here are the top 5 reasons they are making this decision. Number 1 is overpopulation. So let me just say this first. There are still plenty of people moving to Arizona. There is not a gigantic group of people fleeing Arizona by any means. For more than 5 years, Arizona has seen a lot of people relocating here from places like California, Washington, Oregon, Illinois, and New York. And we have always seen a lot of people moving here from places like LA, Chicago, and the Midwest in general. But in the recent years, the extreme seller's housing market has really changed this landscape. Home prices have grown to unimaginable heights, making home buying and renting really challenging. In many of the high-cost, high-tax states like California and New York, people were left with a really big decision. Do I buy what I can afford, which is kind of like a shack, or do I move to a place that I can afford more? The comparable living and really lifestyle has made a lot of people choose Arizona to be that place that they would move to with a lower cost of living overall. And now let's just get this out of the way, because Arizona did not just grow because of California. Although California did account for 60,000 new residents in Arizona in 2020. People from all across the country have been flocking to Arizona for over 10 years. The weather is, well, usually perfect. The state as a whole is absolutely beautiful, and all of this comes at a fraction of the price in many of the other high-cost states. Arizona is not just for second homes or retirees anymore. And because of that, just about everywhere in Arizona is becoming crowded. Houses have been selling before they even hit the market. If you want to go out on a hike for some peace and quiet, well, you might not be alone unless you go really far out. And many complain of the traffic, saying it is just getting worse. I have to disagree with this one, personally. Coming from Southern California, where I grew up, the traffic in Arizona is nowhere close to California traffic. But it is what people are saying. And for many people, especially if you've lived in Arizona for a long time, this crowding just is not what they want. Number 2, skyrocketing home prices and rent. Now, we touched on this in number 1 because of all the people that are moving here, driving our prices up because of our lack of supply. And I mean, when I say driving our prices up, I mean really high up. For a long time, Arizona was really known as a place with affordable housing. This is hardly the case anymore. Now, putting it into perspective just a little bit and comparing $3,000 a month for rent for a studio apartment in LA or San Francisco, our rent is going to look a lot better to you here, but for what we were, our prices have gone up drastically. Now, I have to say this because I remember in the 2008 market crash, when our prices had been slashed by like 50%, people would still call me and they would tell me they were looking for a house. I would say, great, what are you looking for? They would say, I'd like a 4-bedroom house with a pool on a golf course, and I'd like to pay $400,000. Even then, that was not doable. So even when our market hit the lowest of the lows and we were seeing 50% off in home prices, people were wanting deals that we just didn't have. This doesn't make it any less true that our real estate market has gone up exponentially in the last 2 years. In fact, Phoenix spent 33 consecutive months as the city with the highest year-over-year price appreciation at 32.4%. This was establishing a new record. There is no question that Arizona's affordability is a big challenge right now, especially for our largest group of buyers, which are the millennials. These young professionals fresh out of college, looking for their first, maybe second real-world job, many of which have gone to school here and fell in love with the state and don't want to leave, are finding that after this most recent house price explosion, buying and even renting is almost not possible. Number 3, they want 4 seasons. Now, if you've not lived in Arizona and don't know much about the state, you might not know that there are parts of Arizona that get snow. Now, my husband and I lived in Flagstaff for about 7 to 8 years, and when we would go on vacation from there, we would meet people and they would ask, oh, where are you from? And we'd say, we live in Flagstaff, Arizona. They would always go, oof, man, it is hot there all the time, isn't it? We would laugh and we would say, well, actually, Flagstaff is at 7,000 feet and we get snow. And they would say, what? Really? We had no idea. So if you're living in Flagstaff, you will have 4 seasons. There are aspen trees up by Snowball that absolutely change color. You've got a beautiful green forest. It is an absolutely stunning place to live, especially if you're really looking for that small town college feel. Great place to live where you can experience all 4 seasons. We also have Payson and Pine Top. Those areas also get snow, and it's just a smaller town. So there are some options if you want to experience 4 seasons for you to live. Now, if you live in Phoenix or Tucson, you're right. We don't have 4 seasons. We have sunny, sunnier, and sometimes a little rain. So for those people that are really, really wanting 4 seasons, and maybe they've lived here for a little while, they just get burnt out on sunny, sun, they decide to make another place their home. Number 4, our unbearable summer heat. I have been asked more times than I can remember, is it really that hot in the summertime? Do you want to know what my answer is? Yes, it is. I then tell them living in Arizona in the summertime is kind of like living on the sun. And this is one of the biggest reasons people leave Arizona. They just can't take the heat. And there's no denying the heat. I mean, you can't get away from it. It is intense. And even at night in the summertime, we might dip into the 90s. And that's it. So your air conditioner will run all day, all night. Your house will be closed. That's just the way we live in Arizona in the summer. You really just do not get a break from the heat. However, as I've said in my other videos, my clients that have moved here, especially from the Midwest, absolutely, positively do not mind the heat. They tell me every time I check in on them in the summertime, I will take this all day long over shoveling snow, having falling ice, the gray skies, all of it. I am happy to deal with this heat. And then there's me. I'm over here counting the number of days before I can open up my house because I love to get fresh air in my house. And they have no problem with it. But for some, it is just too much for them to take. They cannot take the intensity of the heat, or they have lived here their whole life and this is all they've experienced. They've maybe gone on vacation someplace else and kind of fallen in love with it and said, you know what? I just really want to try living there. I am done with living through this heat in the summertime. And because of those reasons, they decide to leave Arizona. Number 5, the pollution. In 2020, Arizona was ranked one of the highest air polluted cities in the nation, according to the American Lung Association. Now, this one's hard for me to believe because, as I've said before, I grew up in Southern California where our air during certain times of the year was brown. I'm not kidding. It was brown. We had sunsets with unnatural colors because of the pollution in the air. When I swam a lot as a little kid, my lungs would hurt because of the pollution. I know what I just read. I know that the statistics, but I still think where I came from has more pollution than Phoenix. As we talked about in the very beginning of this video, our population has grown and it has grown fast. And each person brings with it additional pollution. And with every new person, this brings their own carbon emissions daily. And now with some of the pollution, what we're finding is that it's exacerbating people's allergies or kind of even giving people allergies that didn't have them before they moved here. Then all of a sudden, they now have a runny nose or a cough that it's correlated back to allergies and it's stemming from the pollution. And so for that reason, people that want to deal with no pollution and deal with those things are deciding that Arizona is not for them and they are leaving the state. Now, if you would like to find out if Arizona is or is not for you, make sure you check out this next video. I hope this information was helpful. If I can answer any questions, please feel free to reach out. All my contact information is below. As always, I thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.